My best Geno story? Well, let me think about that. No, so this is usually the one that I tell because it's G-rated, so I can say it publicly. And I'm sure if you've read anything, I always say this one, but it was my freshman year, and you know, I'm from New York, so I try to have a little swag every now and then, and it was in practice, and I threw like this no-look pass. So I was like passing over there, and I kind of did one of those jobs, and it went flying out of bounds. And I'm sure we've all been to Gamble. We know there's the concourse. And even when we're practicing, people are always, especially students, like always walking through. It's a good cutoff for them in the cold. So at that moment, there happened to be like some men's football player, maybe, some guy walking through. And it's just like, oh, awful timing for me, amazing timing for him. So Coach Ram is like, you know, what? Stops practice. Like, what is that? What does this snow look like? What are you looking at? Who are you looking at? And then he looks up and he sees this kid. And he's like, are you looking at him? Is that who you're looking at? Hey, you! She's looking at you. You can't come into Gamble anymore. Do you want his number? Is that what's happening? Hey, you gotta get out of here. She keeps looking at you, and she's making these bad passes. You gotta leave. So, and literally, and you know him, he like goes on and on and on. And everybody's laughing. I'm not laughing. Everybody else is laughing. So that's one of my personal, I don't know, favorites, if I have to call it that. So there you go.
But we would really maybe like to hear a little bit of your origin story.
Yes, please.
Give us the juice, the dirt.
This is my. Go for it.
We actually first met at like a USOC Media Days summit kind of thing. We have not the same agent, but basically the same in the same group. So my agent Dan, we were sort of passing and doing all these things, and he was like, "Oh, you got to meet Sue." And we've obviously played in the same city, but we had never
met. Yeah.
Never met. So I made a really stupid joke. I think
really stupid.
Really.
Oh, whoa.
I was a little bit nervous.
Well, so this USOC thing, it's like humongo media day for all the Olympians. It's where they get all their content that you're going to see on TV. It's like a year prior to the Olympics. So I was in like full uniform, but like full makeup, hair down.
Yeah.
Just
it was
not,
like
it
this
never,
from here up, and then
yeah,
like
and then full uniform.
basketball from there down.
She's like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" She's like, "I'm getting ready for a game."
I was like, yeah. It was just like that too. That's not even exaggerating. I basically just walked away
cool.
like, this is not good.
What's your favorite CK memory?
My favorite CK memory? Oh, yeah. My senior year, we won state and we were ranked first nationally. I remember my very last game the most. It was for the state federation title, and we were ranked #1 in the state, in the country, and so there was a lot riding on it. I got fouled really late in the game. I couldn't tell you the time, I couldn't tell you the score, but I got fouled shooting a 3, and I missed all 3 free throws. And luckily, I had another teammate like get a rebound and score, and we ended up winning. But that's how my high school basketball career ended. So yeah, I miss game-winning shots too. Which leads me to probably the most famous story in terms of sports in our family. And it's one of my, not first track meets, but one of my early track meets, again, probably like 5 years old. And so it was the 4x1, and I was the last leg, which is kind of an honor, you know, to be the anchor. And I'm waiting, and I'm got my hand out, and I'm waiting for that, and I see the first leg go. Baton gets passed to the second. Just can't wait, I'm waiting, I'm like, my arm's shaking, and the third, you know, leg gets the baton, rounds the corner, and all these other people are, like, other teams are already going. Like, that fourth leg has already got their baton, and they're, you know, racing down to the finish line, and I see my third leg, like, in different lanes and all over the place, and I'm like, oh my God. So by the time she hands me the baton, I look up, I have zero chance of catching anybody. So I just was like, I look at the baton, I was like, threw it on the floor and walked out. So the competitiveness was there at an early age. Luckily I learned to channel it a little bit, but yeah, and my mom, who was of course there as she was for every sporting event, driving me, taking me everywhere, soccer, basketball, this, that, was there, and sitting next to another parent of another team who said, God, like, whose child is that? And my mom was like, I don't know, and walked away. Well.
Since everyone already said the nice stuff, I figured it was my turn to set the record straight. Lauren and I met the very first day, the very first practice that she arrived in Seattle. I mean, there's only one place to start, and that's the beginning, where she came over, I was practicing, she had just arrived, introduced herself. I find out 5-10 minutes later, she was watching practice, watching Adia Barnes, thinking it was me the whole time. So these are actually semi-famous stories. You know, that's how we first met. It's been noted that our very first year, we didn't necessarily click off the court, per se. Pretty sure she hated me. You might argue that. I think it's true. That's okay. That's okay. And as we all know, she was dominant, intimidating. We've already talked about that stare. Let me just tell you, Jenny, teammates, not immune. Point guard, not immune to the stare. You know, we joke, me, Tanisha, you saw the video, Camille, it's like a rite of passage. If Lauren has not yelled at you to pass her the effing ball, you haven't played with her. You have not played with her. It's part of the experience. And some of my favorite moments are being on my deck or yours, bottle, yes, bottle, maybe two, of white wine, Fauna, guacs and chip, and we would just talk and just hang out. And we were probably most likely talking crap about our coach, but that's how you bond. Sorry, Jenny. That's how you bond. Like I said, it was a rite of passage to get yelled at by Lauren. And I remember one game, you know, the sweet, kind Lauren came, and Sandy Brondello was on the team, so it was 2003. And she was like, you know, Sue, Sandy has been struggling. Like, she has not hit a shot in a while. She's our three-point shooter. Let's run, like, the first couple plays for her, get her going. I'm like, oh, my God. Really? Okay, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. Come out on the court, boom. First play for Sandy, bucket, boom. Second play, third play, bucket, bucket, bucket. Other team has to call timeout. Running back, probably right around here. I feel a little tap on my shoulder. Turn around. There's Lauren. Can we pass me the ball now?